So we have our scene set. Now we have to write a script to bring about the interactivity where these variables on my game scene, they change with various interactions that happen on the level. So I've made this empty script. I've called it move2. Move was a trial one that I did yesterday. So make a new script. This script will be applied to the player. So I'm dragging it and dropping it on the player. Okay. As I type it, I will keep testing it. I won't pause because again, I'm recording this session and I will upload part 1 and part 2. And apart from the screenshots that you have to create, you will have everything that you need for your assignment 1 as well as assignment 2, I would say. There are a few more things. If you spawn your things, if you spawn your health packs and enemies on a level using a for loop, then pretty much even your assignment 2, the bare minimum is ready. Then all that is left is for you to use bulk of your term 2 to apply your design and 3D models into the game engine and build something nice and playable.
Question.
Yes.
Is the player name and position required?
For assignment 1, not for assignment 2. You can knock it off in assignment 2. In assignment 2, just knock it off. And there is an input as well, and you can bind a input, and some people go really gung-ho on the scripts and use lists and have top scores. Usually there's somebody who does that. I'm just going to cheat. I'm just going to use a public variable to get the player name up there. Because for me, the most important things in terms of making a playable game in level 1 is a way to lose my health till I die, or a way to time out, and a timer script is something I'm going to add later on, and a way to score till I win. So score and health are most important to me. So yeah, player and position not important for your second assignment, but for the first one, yes, it's a requirement in the first assignment. Also, I mean, once I show you the timer script, and the rest of the sessions will be just a couple of hours of scripts that I'll throw at you. Some new things, I might even throw nav mesh at you and all of those things, just as extra bit of knowledge in preparation for second semester.
I found the tutorial on the nav mesh and all that, like enemy tower.
Which one, mine? Or
On the
Unity side? Yeah, it's good, very good. I mean, Unity is should be your first point of call, great resources. Okay, so I'll continue because I'm recording this. Right. I don't want to run out of power, so let me just power up the computer. So let me start by defining some variables. But because we are working with UI, one of the first things that I need to do with my script is I want to add a line, and the line is using Unity Engine .ui. Okay. If I don't have that line, I won't be able to define a public variable called text. Okay. So what are the variables that I have for text? Let me call it public text position. Then I have public text score. These are of the type text. You see this text, game object UI text. If I don't have this engine, see the text has gone red. It does not know what this text is because this text is defined inside this library. So you must say that you're using Unity Engine.ui because all of these UI data types are defined here. Okay? And Unity Engine has got all of the other things defined that we normally use. Then I have a public text player. and then I have a public. I don't need. No, sorry, these are not. Okay, and then I have public image health. So that's going to be my green bar. I need one public string player name input. So that is just going to be a variable. If you see, it should come here. See, player name input. Now I also need certain other variables like my score. I need an integer for my score. I need a float for my health, which is starting at 1f. Understand why I need a score for my float for my health? I need for my score 1. Oh, because I have another script with move. I'm just going to call it my score, my health. So the reason I've got health as a float, please observe, in my canvas, health bar is my green bar, right? See the fill amount, it goes from 0.00 to 1 with all decimals in between. So it's a floating point number. So it's a floating point number. I can choose for it to be. I can set I think there's a way for me to set this to a larger scale, but 1f is fine. An integer, my score, I can start with 0. I can initialize them just so that as a fail safe, so it doesn't hold in memory some previous score. So I've got my score, I've got my health, I've got now I need x position and z position. Now x position can be a float x pos, float z pos. That's my x and z position. So I've got all the things that I'm going to fill in here. These are the display. I can call it position display, score display, player name display, health display. Okay. And I usually do that just so that I know this variable deals with the display. Health display, player display, score display, position display. Now let me go and bind it. So if it's attached to my player. So let's do this. Position display, var position, I'm dragging and dropping here. Score display, var score, I drag and drop here. Player display, var player, I drag and drop here. Health display, see it's an image. The green bar, see this is an image type, so it takes an image. This is a text type, so it takes a text. See that? It will not allow you to drag and drop things if they're not of the matching data type. Player name input, let me just call it delete. Let's see. So if I play it, these won't update because I haven't really updated them yet. But I'm happy with that. I need to see my health bar, my red bar and green bar. I'm just aligning them again because I don't know why it's sort of, yeah, now it's okay. But these guys haven't been aligned. The health bar is aligned. My position title and health title. Okay, so if you use the align, you can see when your game plays, they align properly, and that's why I first align and then I get things to move. Now my variable position, I didn't align it. Alt, going to align this one also. Once you align it, then even if it scales into a different size, you can see it stays there even when it expands. Okay, so that's good. Now let's start updating. Let's start updating. In the update, let's say player display. Now player display is dot text type. It's a text type. So I have to say player display dot text is equal to, now string is a text, so it should be okay. I'm just going to say is equal to player name input. Player name input. I'm going to save this. I come here, come to my player, and I've got input name Dilip. So now if I play, see that Dilip has changed? So that's working. Okay. Let's try position. Let's go xpos is equal to transform dot position allows me to trap dot x, will allow me to trap x position. I'm going to just copy this line, paste it, say z pause. So I've got x pause and z pause inside the variable x pause and z pause. But how do I assign it to position display? Okay. Let me make this put comments here, name display. After that I have position display. Don't just frantically type, understand it. I will upload the script, understand what is happening here thoroughly so that you can apply it thoroughly. Position display, I get x pause and z pause, but how do I put it into this display? So I will say position display dot text is equal to x pause plus, I need a comma, comma space, plus z pause. Now this is not going to work because x pause is not a string. I have to say take x pause dot to string, make it into a string type. If I'm dealing with numbers, I have to say take that number, make it into a string, because this is a string, and now I should get something. See, my player, I don't have my movement script yet, so my player isn't moving. So let's do that. Let's come and give move player. So move player, we said a script like transform dot translate, which we did last time. A simple way to move a non-rigid body, because when you have rigid body, if some of you have done the rollerball tutorial, you would have realized that he uses a rigid body and adds a force to move the ball, and it's great. Those things are great, and that's the way you want to expand. You want to use the Unity resources to build upon your knowledge, because one semester is not enough to teach you something that has been made over like decade, 10 years. Transform.translate, we said in terms of x, we said input.getAxis, right? But I'm saying no, 0, y 0, only z, input dot getAxis vertical, because for x what I'm going to do is, first let me see this works. Okay, there's a semicolon missing there. So this works, okay, and it's too fast, so what I did was I divided it by 10. Okay, now the reason I did not move x was because I'm going to modify my script from week 1. The script I'm going to use today is, and this was suggested by a student that this is a better player movement, and I agree. So if input dot get axis, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to rotate that. If you press the left arrow key, it goes left. it turns left, and if you press the right arrow key, it turns right. So input.getAxis horizontal. So if input.getAxis horizontal, if it is less than 0, which means if it's going towards the left, begin end, we'll do something. And what we'll do is we'll say transform.rotate. I think rotate takes the Euler angles, just your standard rotate vector 3. So I'll just put 3 angles there. 0 in x, minus 2 degrees in y, 0 in z. And if it's greater than 0, which means I'm pressing the right arrow key, move 2 degrees to the right. Again, I can increase and decrease the 2 degrees to make it slower or faster. So this is turn player on left and right arrow keys. Okay, so this script turns the player on left and right arrow keys. Let me see. Now I can turn, see this? And now this is local. When I turn, the axis of the body turns, so the Z changes, so my Z still works, see that? And because this guy is a trigger, I could go through it, and because this, oh, is this a trigger as well? So my health, I'm going to just make it into a trigger. Now my enemy, I am going to add a rigid body. My player also, I'm going to add a rigid body. Okay, so now I've got both as a rigid body. And that's for my health mainly. Now, I don't want my player toppling over. So the player, I'm going to constrain the rotation. I do want it to rotate in Y because I'm turning it, but I don't want it to topple over in X and Z. So now if I hit the ball, it does rotate in. Oh, that's because of my gravity. I think I have put a constraint. Did I? Yep, I've got the constraint. That's going to come in for the triggers and collisions. So let's see. The position working? Question?
My question's about the health display. How it says, like, I get the variable position and stuff is all text, but how do I get the green bar to, like, display like an image? Like,
Oh, you go to game object UI image.
yeah, but like when I click the drop, like if I click that,
Or did you choose filled method?
yeah,
And there is a fill amount that we will be varying through script. I haven't done that yet. I have not scripted the. I have only scripted 3 things yet. I haven't done scripted the image yet. Yeah. So I have not scripted the image yet in terms of scripting. Okay. There's one more thing here, guys. You see my position is how many decimals? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decimals. I wanted only 2 decimals. So I'm going to use something called, before I make it to a string, I'm going to take xpos. I'm going to say xpos is equal to mathf dot round. I can round it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take xpos. I'm going to multiply it by 100. So when you multiply a decimal number by 100, the decimal goes 2 places in front. After it goes 2 places in front, I'm going to round it off. And after it rounds off, I'm going to divide by 100 and bring it 2 places behind. Let me see if that works for XPOS. So my XPOS now should be, see, only 2 decimals. See my X position? It's only 2 decimals. So I multiply a decimal number multiplied by 100 takes the decimal 2 in front. You round it off using mathf.round and then you divide it by 100 to bring the decimal 2 behind. One of the easiest multiplications or divisions that you can do in school, multiplying and dividing by hundreds, thousands, or any number like that. Z pause. Now both X and Z should work. Okay, so X and Z peaceful. Now 2 things are left, 2 most important things, the score and the health. The score as well as the health. Let's do the health first. I'm not sure why my health, although I set it off to be 1, why it goes off to 0.5. Let me see my green bar. I'm just gonna make it full. And why is this rotating? Why does my, maybe I should even tell the head not to rotate. Player. I'll freeze position Y. Yeah, so that's okay. I froze this position Y. No, maybe I want to jump later on, so I will take that away. I'll take that back. Okay, let's deal with health. Let's tidy this up first. All of this has to do with update. So I'm going to cut this here. And just outside update, not before this last bracket, I'm going to write a method called public update display. Open round bracket, close round bracket, begin, end. So all of this script which was up here, I've copied it down here and I can just call update display. I can't call it update because we already have one update here. So within update, I'm going to call update display. Update display will call all of this, which is at the bottom. I'm going to make one more. I'm just organizing my code. See, public update position. And update position is here, turning, twisting, moving. I'm going to cut that, put it inside here. And I'm going to call update position. So you can see how my code is now pretty clean and I've killed something. Update display. That's update position. Yep. I'll do that later. I'm just recording the session. I want you to sit with a paper and pen and understand this before you compile. So I'm not going to break my recording to come and help you with some error after the session. So just bear with me, please. Oh, this has to go public void. So yeah, that's okay. I have to say what this function returns, whether it actually returns a variable or not. So just bear with me if you're typing code. If you have an error, I'll put the script up later. I did not want you to type it. I wanted you to mainly understand how this mechanics is working. So what I've done is I've written, compiler error can come for many reasons. If you have built your package inside, you can get a compiler error, but we'll look at that. So you can see inside my update is very clean now. I'm saying call update display. I'm saying call update position. So update display displays this. Update position updates the movement. Now I need to see whether it actually works. Yep, still works. I've just moved the code around, nothing else. Okay. Now let's look at scoring and health. This is the most important thing. So outside the update field, you see this is update, start here and here. Outside of update, we are going to do triggers and collisions. For something like collision, on collision, you need to use colliders for sure. It is not necessary to use rigid bodies. It will still work. But the reason we use rigid bodies is just to prevent things from growing inside one another. So let's start a new script after this. Void on, and I think I can search it, on collision enter. It's going to take two parameters. One is the collision parameter, and you can see there it is, collision, and the second is a variable which we will say, I'm just going to call it call object, collision object, start end. Inside this I'll just use the start and end the way it's usually used, bracket there and bracket there. Inside this I'm going to use if call object dot game object dot tag is equal to, now what was my tag name? Let me go and check. Enemy. So if the call object dot game object dot tag is equal to enemy, then I'm going to do something, begin end. What I can do is I can say my health, my health is equal to my health minus 0.2 f. This is the same as my health. This is the same as my health minus equals 0.2 f. I'm going to put a comment there for your reference later on. Same as. Okay. So when I hit an enemy, should I put the score down? I can put the score down. I have another script, and because these two are confusing, even now I still have my reference. Unless you type it 10 times a day, it's not going to go down and sort of get registered. The other one is on trigger. Very similar to this. On trigger enter. So whenever this player will enter an object which is a trigger, remember health we marked as a trigger, this trigger is trigger. So whenever it enters a trigger, on trigger enter, but not collision, it's just going to detect the collider of, we can say, okay, call object. If call object game tag equals health, then you increase the health by 0.2, and also give the guy a score. Score equals, did I have score? My score. My score plus equals 10 points. Now this will work, but to display it, I'm going to come here and say score display. You can see how complicated it is. Up here, I'm increasing the score, but when I come to score display, I have to say, what is that variable? Score display. The variable is score display. Score display dot text equals my score dot toString. I have to convert it to a string because my score is a number and score display displays text. So I'm saying take my score, convert it to a string and display it. Let's do health display. Health display is different. There's no string here. So I'm going to say health display dot. Now remember what I was changing? Fill amount. See that dot fill amount is equals health, my health. So you see, when I hit an object, my health goes down by 0.2f and my health is being displayed here. So in update display, I've got a name display, position display, which we did before. I've just added score display and health display. Let me see if this works. You can see my health going down every time I hit the ball. And every time I pass by the, every time I pass by the, in fact, if I enter and I exit, I end up getting 20 points. Because once the cylinder enters and then once the body enters. You see? So you have to be careful because the cylinder has a collider and the body has a collider. So you have to delete one of the colliders or make one common collider. So you can see why that 20 is happening. And this happens a lot, especially if you're building objects with many colliders. But this is working. I just need to do one more thing, win, lose. I can have one more public void win, lose. Win, lose, I'm just going to say, let's say if my score greater than 50, okay, I need a reason to win. If my score greater than 50, in the older versions, you can use application dot load level. You can see I've got a line there. It's saying it's deprecated. Please use scene manager dot load scene. But it's okay for the versions you have on your computer, and even on my new version, it will still work. Application dot load level. I think I have a scene called win. And I'll just make one more if statement. If my health, so I have a semicolon there missing. If my health is less than or equal to 0, if I hit 0, lose. I think these are my scripts. I don't know. I'm just making sure this bracket belongs here, this bracket belongs here, this bracket belongs here, this bracket belongs up there. So inside update display, I have these. I update position. I also need to call win, lose. Win, lose. If I don't call it, this will never work. So I've got win, lose, which I've called. I have got update position, which I have called. I have got update display, which I have called, and these two work by themselves. I don't need to call them. The collision and triggers will work by themselves. So pretty much I define my variables. The variables are the ones that are going to change. Position display, score display, player display, health display. I define variables that will track the values that will be displayed. In my function update, which runs 60 times a second, I have update display function, update position function, and win lose function. Update display just tracks the values and updates the various displays. It's usually .text for all the text UI types, but for the image UI type, it's .fill amount that is being updated. The fill amount is being updated. The update position only has move and rotate. So we are turning the object and moving it. And the win lose function is simply two if commands. If score greater than something, go to win scene. If health less than something, go to the lose scene. So this should actually give me a complete mini game here. So if I keep on hitting the red ball, oh, it didn't take me to. Let me see if I actually can win. Okay, it went to the win screen. I'm not sure why it didn't go to the lose screen. Maybe I didn't go to 0. Oh, did I type the wrong scene level? Yeah, thank you. That's probably the thing. Lose. Okay. I'm just gonna make this guy. I'm gonna freeze his position so I can keep hitting him. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. My fill amount, it shows 0, but it has to be less than or equal to 0. Okay, that works.